Hi, students. Welcome to English 1. I just wanted to do a little welcome video. I'm Kelly Ryan, your instructor. And so what I wanted to do was go over the syllabus. And so you have it on Canvas. And I wanted to just read over it because I thought that might help to clarify and just, any clarifications that might be needed. So I have up at the top my contact info. Oh, the one I'm looking at, somehow the Solano email got deleted. So I'm going to try to put it back on there. But it's k.ryan@solano.edu. So there's that one. And then also I have an AT&T email that's also fine, which is the one you're looking at on there too, Kelly A. Ryan 4407@att.net. Then I have a phone number, which is my cell phone, 707-803-2137. That is actually my best way, the best way to get in contact with me, which is the cell phone. Via text, I'm really pretty good with a text, so I prefer text. I'm faster with it. So I tried Canvas message is fine, email is fine, either email. And a phone call is fine. And if I'm not available, you can leave a message. But the fastest way is generally a text. I'm a little faster with that. So there are times that I might not be available. There are times I have to be in meetings. There are times I have to be involved with other classes. I also work at the Writing Center online at Napa Valley College. So there are times that I'm, just not going to be available. But I welcome your call, your text, your message, your email, and I will certainly do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. I really enjoy talking to students, which brings up office hours. So my office hours are Mondays and Thursdays from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on the phone. We're going to chat on the phone. So one way to do that is to just either call or text me during that time, and I will either answer the text or pick up the phone, and we will chat back and forth via text or phone call. And that seems to have worked out really well during this. But if that time is not good for you and it's not convenient, that's totally understandable. So just contact me to set up a different time, and we will do that. All right. So that has been no problem in the past, so I'd be happy to do that. All right, so I wanted to go over the grading. So I have it right at the top here so that you can really understand how your grade is comprised. So it says essays, and which the essay category does include an annotated bibliography as well. That category is worth 60% of your grade, so that is a large percentage. So that way, for that reason, it is especially important to get all the papers in, because if you get even 1-0 on a paper for not turning it in, that can really wreak havoc with your grade. It can cause you not to pass the class. So you want to make sure that you get all of them in. I do allow you to revise the papers. So once you turn it in, you can actually have the opportunity to revise. The first two you can revise. Let me clarify that. The argument paper, probably not, because we're starting to run out of time toward that end of the semester. The final paper, no chance to revise, because you are turning it in and then that's it. You're done with the class at that point. But so the first two papers you can revise and get all of your points back, except any late points, and I'll talk about that. So my point in bringing that up now is that it's really important to just do your best and get it in. All right, so then in-class writing, well, that says in-class writing. Well, homework. So in-class in this format. So basically, homework is worth 20% of your overall grade. So while that doesn't sound like as big of a percentage, sometimes human nature, we think, oh, not such a big percentage, don't need to worry too much about getting that homework in. But that's incorrect. 20% is actually significant. And it's really pretty easy to just do the assignment, I think, from my perspective, that it's easy enough to just do the assignment and get that grade of completing it and get the full points. And because if you don't do a lot of the homework, say you don't do half of it, that can cause you to have a failing grade in that category, which can, again, it can kick you down depending on where everything else is in the formulation. It can kick you into another grade. I mean, like a downward grade, which can also cause you not to pass. So it's really important to just get that in. And it just needs to be complete. I'm not, um, if you forgot to dot an I or something like that, I'm not going to give you a 0, but it does need to be complete. So if I'm asking for a page and you only have a quarter of a page, that's not complete. So that will cause you to get points taken off of that. So you just want to just do it, get it in, and there you go. So that's worth 20%. We have one presentation that you'll do during the class. That's worth 10% of your overall grade. And again, human nature, sometimes we think 10%, not so much, but again, it is 10% of your overall grade. So that it can actually, you could have an A, get a 0 on the presentation because you didn't do it, and that can kick you into, a lower grade, like a B. If it's a low A, it could even end up with a high C, actually. All right, so the quizzes are 10% of your overall grade. Again, really important to do it. The quizzes will be on the short stories that we are reading in the class. They'll be every other week once we get started on Fridays, and I will post a study guide the week before, and the questions will come from the study guide. The quizzes are closed book, and they are timed, but you will have a study guide that you will be able to study from, and the quizzes are all 4 questions and a bonus question. For every single quiz that we do will be that format. And so the study guide tends to be about 10 questions. So those 4 questions will come directly from the study guide. The 5th question, the bonus, may come from the study guide, or it may be something more specific about the story or about the author because it's bonus. All right, so there's that. And then so I'll let you peruse the rationale and the student learning outcomes. You can go through that. I think it's pretty clear. All right. So, but I do want to cover format and procedures and including the policy for late work. So it says students will be responsible for turning in assigned work in the Canvas assignment submission box by the due date. So that means that you have to get it in. It can't be submitted in some other format. Like I can't take it if it's coming in via email or Canvas message or some other format. It has to be in the submission box because I need everyone on the same page with that. I need to know where to look to get your assignments. I don't want to miss an assignment that's coming in from some other format. So it does have to be in the Canvas submission box, and it has to be by the due date. So the assignments are, unless otherwise specified, meaning there's something that took longer, or maybe it's to the end of the semester and there's something time-wise that we are dealing with. But other than that, other than an exception, which I will explain if it happens, the assignments are all due on Fridays at 11:59 p.m. at right before midnight. But you do need to get it in before the assignment closes. Once it closes, then you're locked out of turning it in. So I do give, after the due date, I give a 1-week grace period on homework and on the essays. On the essays, I do take 10 points off if it is past the due date. So even if it's a day past, it's late. So you can, plan on getting 10 points off. But 10 points off is better than a 0 by any means, right? But once that grace period is passed, the assignment is locked. We have to move on. It gets me really crazy behind if I have things coming in at all different times. Etc. And it ends up getting you behind, and every assignment is designed to build to the next assignment. So it's just a snowball effect that's a bad snowball effect if that were to happen. So you've got to get the assignment in before that closing date. and closing time. Otherwise, you can't get credit for it. It's just a huge headache for me to unlock assignments, and it's really not fair to have to be unlocking assignments for one student and the other students had to get it in at the deadline. So we're just not going there. So you've just got to get it in. I give that grace period, and I don't ask for any reasons or anything. Just things happen, right? But you've got to get it in by that time. All right, so let's move on from that. And oh, I do want to mention too, the quizzes there's no late on the quizzes. I give you the block of time that I put it in for. The quizzes are on Fridays. So I often give you a little extra time in that block, like an extra day. And I have to think if it's going to be Saturday or whatever. But once you are taking the quiz, it is timed, which I last semester did 50 minutes. So that's probably what I'll stick with. But that's it. Like you have to do the quiz when it's up. You can plan on it. It's on the syllabus every other Friday, right? But I don't do makeup quizzes. It's too complicated, especially in this format. So you have to do the quiz when it's there. That said, you can miss one quiz and still be successful with the quizzes if you get the bonus points. So that's another reason to try the bonus points, because I do give partial credit. So even if you're not sure on the bonus, try it, because if you get the bonus points will add up to one missing quiz, and we'll even give you an A on one missing quiz. So meaning, if you got sick and you're just too sick to even take a quiz, that's understandable. You had to go somewhere, whatever happened, that's okay. If you got the bonus points, it will make up for that. But in any case, I can't make up a quiz. So for whatever happens, and we just have to move on from that. So that's why it says there are no makeup quizzes. The other thing here is I can't take the final paper late for any reason, because that one, there's no grace period. You have to just get it in by the deadline. I have a very strict deadline of when I have to get all of the grading done and the grades submitted, and there is no leeway for me, so I can't give you any leeway since I don't have any. So that one, you just have to get that in by the deadline. All right, so let's move on to the second page. Course requirements. So the first goes over attendance. So you might have a question, well, how does that work when it's online? Especially because this class is asynchronous, meaning that we're not meeting via Zoom. I will have the assignments posted, and you will do the assignments, and I will be posting YouTube videos, so you'll get to see me via that, and I hope we can talk on the phone during my office hours if you would like to do that. But I'm not, taking attendance in an actual normal class, traditional class format, but you still have to attend. So what that looks like in this format is you have to be regularly logging on every week and doing the work. If you are not logged on for 2 weeks, which is a really long time to miss a class, you are very likely to be dropped from the class, because you are getting to the point where you won't be able to pass the class. It's better to be dropped or drop yourself than to end up honestly with an F. So there's that. So you do have to keep logging in. All right, so then I have this in bold, so it's really important. You've got to make sure you are keeping up with all the categories, the essays, the homework, the quizzes, the presentation, because if any one of those balls drops and you end up with a 0 because you didn't turn it in, again, that can cause you to do really poorly in the class and even to fail the class, depending on, where all the numbers are. All right, so I'm going to go into the next, Okay, I'm going to go into the next category, which is this is course readings. So the first one is the textbook. It's called Steps to Writing Well, and my copy is a little battered looking, but this is what it looks like, Steps to Writing Well. Okay, and I'll even try to put the ISBN code right there really quick. There you go, ISBN. So it's available via the campus bookstore, which, all that's online now. So, but it's there. You can get normally cheaper versions online, so you can look for it that way. In addition to that, sometimes there are extremely low cost versions. Even there have been even free versions that are older editions, and that is okay with me. I know these textbooks can be expensive, so if you get one of those really cheap versions that is from 10 years ago, or it's even no charge, that is okay with me. You can usually access that by Googling it. So, and if you are looking for something like that and you're having trouble, I'd be glad to help you. So that's where just contact me. I'll do my best to see if I can help you in your search. But here's the caveat. Those versions tend to be older, like 10 years or more ago, which is okay with me. But it might not be okay with you. So, for example, if I said we have an assignment on page 175, I'm just pulling out here, and there's an exercise to do on page 175. Your version, if you have an older version, will probably not be on 175. So you will have to just kind of work with that and know that what chapter we're in and what the exercise is like to be. You might have to look back and forth a couple of pages just to see where you're at. But some of the examples change slightly. I'm okay with that because the ideas are the same. And what she goes over is the same even in previous versions. So I'm okay with that. But if it's going to stress you out to not have the same page numbers or things like that, then don't stress yourself out. Just get this one. But you do need some form of this book because we use this book like all the time throughout the semester. All right, Steps to Writing Well, Jean Wyrick. I love the book. I've been using it for years and it's just my favorite. So, all right, so there's that. All the short stories that we are going to read are from a book called Literature and Its Writers by Charters and Charters. Those are the editors, Ann Charters and Samuel Charters. So the problem with that is that the book has recently gone out of print, which I was very disappointed because I've been using this for many years. But the bookstore was going to try to get some used copies in, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. They were trying to do that, so they may have that. You can get used copies online for a really great price usually. So it's Literature and Its Writers. It's on here. Charters and Charters are the editors. Any version will do, really, because the stories that I'm using, they're in every version I've ever used of that book. So even if it's from 10 years ago, fine. Or here's the other thing you can do with that. You can just search for the stories individually. I'm not going to post them. You can use your college student research skills. You can just use Google, actually. They're past the copyright date, most of them except for the last one that is available also online. So you can just do a search for example, the first one of the first stories is called The Story of an Hour by Kate Chopin. It's on the syllabus, so but you can just Google it and it will come up. I've never had it not come up. It comes up every semester. All of them do. They're free because, again, they're past the copyright date. So you can search for them that way if you would like to. All right. Oh, also in Steps to Writing Well, in the chapter on literature, there is the story of an Hour is actually in this textbook too. So that first story you can even access this way. It's in the chapter called Writing About Literature. They actually have that story. So you can even get started just by having that one for that exact story. Okay, all right. So then you can read through the essays in depth, but I'm just going to give kind of an overview. The essays that you'll be writing, the first one is a narrative essay. Narrative meaning it's an essay with solid essay structure, but it's where you talk about an aspect of your own experience, which this one is called The Right Words at the Right Time. So it's based on a book that I read called The Right Words at the Right Time by Marlo Thomas. And it features excerpts of people that they heard just the right words at the right time, and it made a huge difference in their lives. So you are challenged to write about when did you hear the right words at the right time. And so whether it was intentional, the person was trying to give you good advice, or they just randomly said it, for some reason these words had a very powerful effect on you. and that's what you are going to write about, right? And so, and they could even be negative. Sometimes something negative challenges us, right? That's so I'll let you go through all the specifics of that, because you can, read through that. So please know that every single essay, I have a mini prompt in the syllabus that you can read through, and then I will have a longer prompt posted before the essay as we get closer to. But you can refer to both. So if you want to, be thinking ahead about what like you might want to work on for a paper, all of the mini prompts are in the syllabus. So you really, there should be no problem accessing what to do with each paper, because you've got a mini prompt in the syllabus. You'll have a longer prompt, that's another document, and you'll have the assignment itself that has some directions on it. So you should be clear really on what to do. All right, the expository essay is next. What that is, it's also sometimes called the how-to paper, and you will be talking about how to do something that you are going to teach the reader. And so it could be how to make chocolate chip cookies, how to give your dog a bath, how to go to Disneyland on a budget, whatever it is. But you will give specific directions to the reader. It all has to be in essay format, in paragraph form, in sentence form, no list. That's a lot of the challenge, and you have to get really specific. You have to act like you are the only directions these folks have. So there's that one. You can look on the prompt and on the mini prompt for more specifics about that. Also, you have two choices with your presentation. This is one of your choices that you can present on that. So in the presentations, you'll be doing it via either PowerPoint, Google Slides, some kind of slide format, or through making a YouTube video. And the only person that's going to watch your presentation in this class is me. So for those of you that which I did too as a student, stressed about doing a presentation, that might make it a little easier. So at any rate, so there's that. I'll have a prompt for the presentation, but that just gives you something to think about. Oh, and then your other choice for the presentation is to present for the final paper, in which you will be researching an aspect of one of the stories. So you're only responsible for one presentation. You choose which works better for you. All right, so the argument paper is the next one, and that one is based on the argument chapter and steps to writing well. I'm pointing at it. Can you see it? So there's a list of topics in the book. You have to go with one of those topics. You cannot veer off onto your own topic. That is not in the book. It has to be in the book. But there are I think 14, 15 different choices. So they're of a variety of different topics. So hopefully you'll find one that is of interest to you. And I'll let you read through that more for the specifics on that. Annotated bibliography, that one is it's an annotated bibliography that is designed to help you to have good sources to write your research paper. So the topic is going to be one of the stories from Literature and Its Writers that we are reading during the semester. And what you do with the annotated bibliography, that it's in a certain format, you basically list all of your sources and you talk about them in paragraph form. You talk about where you found the source, how the source is going to help you write your paper, why this is an effective source, on and on, right? You get the specific directions for that from your LR10 professor. So that is paired with English 1, and you will get the directions from him, and then you will follow his directions, and then it's like a buy one get one free because you get to click it into me and click it into him, and it's the same document, but you get credit in both classes. But you have to do it on the correct topic, so you have to work with one of the stories from Literature and Its Writers, and you have to follow the specific directions, right? If you are not taking LR10, because sometimes people are not taking it, they've already passed it or something like that, then talk to me and I will provide you with a prompt. All right, but otherwise you will just go with his prompt, and I find it less confusing if we all are focused on the same prompt. So we're going to go with your LR10 professor's prompt in that. All right, so then there's that, and oh, the annotated bibliography counts as a paper, because that's how important it is to have good sources to write your research paper. I don't know about you, but as an overwhelmed college student, there were times that I was like, whoa, got a paper due really soon. Oh, I don't really have any sources, you know? So, and in those days, we had to go to the library and bring home the stack of books, and, oh, wow, that could get overwhelming, right? So, this is one of the reasons I require knowing human nature, knowing myself anyway. Um, it require an annotated bibliography is because it sets you up for success, because that way you have your sources that you've looked through them, they're really good because you had to write about them. So they're going to work for your paper, so that way you're set up for success. You're not like flailing around at midnight the night before the paper's due and freaking out because you don't have any sources, right? So that's the annotated bibliography. All right, so the research paper is a 5 to 7 page research paper. All of the other papers are 3 to 5 pages. The research paper is 5 to 7 pages because you need more time and space to put that research in and intertwine it with your ideas. So that is on, again, an idea that you have about one of the stories that we're going to read. All right, so, and I'll let you look through the specifics of that. All right. So, and then again, the presentation, which I've already explained, would either be on that final paper, on your idea about one of the stories, or on the expository essay, the how-to. All right, great. All right, so then the quizzes, as I already mentioned, every other Friday once we get rolling. All right, talked about homework. Extra credit. So extra credit will come up here and there. So it is optional. If I say there's something for extra credit, it's optional. You don't have to do it, but you could. And if you can fit it in, it's kind of nice because it does boost your overall grade. So that can be helpful. It is a boost. It is also designed to help you to meet the learning objectives of the class, so that can be a win-win. But it is not designed to make up if you have a 0 on a paper or a 0 in any other category. It can't bounce you up that much, but it can get you a boost on a grade. So if a paper didn't go as well as you want it to and you have some extra credit, it might help to boost that up a bit. All right, so academic integrity, this is a really important section, so I'd like you to read through this on your own as well, but it's extremely important. So it says any work submitted by a student in this course for academic credit will be the student's own work. So if you are using a source, you have to cite that source. You have to give credit to who said that, who had that idea. That would involve citing sources. We will go into that more in the class, especially before the argument paper. But the other thing you don't want to do is you do not want to take something from the internet, which is, tempting, I know, and put your name on it and submit it like, here's my paper, right? So that is a really silly idea. It's silly, and it's really bad news for you because you will get a 0 on that paper, which can, of course, cause you to fail the class. So just don't do that. So you're going to be submitting your papers through the Turnitin, which is a plagiarism checker. So it gives exactly where it came from if it's from the internet. So that's a problem. And in addition to that, I have a master's degree in English. I'm really good at research, and it breaks my heart to have to find out that a paper was plagiarized. But the consequences are profound. You will get a 0, and it doesn't even stop there. Then you get to talk to an official from Solano College, usually one of the vice presidents of Solano College, and have a hearing with them, and they interview about the situation, and they decide whether or not you get to stay at Solano College. You can actually be asked to leave Solano College because in addition to that, it could be an ethics violation on your permanent record, an ethics violation. So, for example, if you are in criminal justice and you want to apply to the FBI or CIA, something like that, they check for ethics violations. If you are going to transfer to a university that is a religious institution, they check for ethics violations. You don't want to mess around with any of that. It's honestly better to get an honest C than to go this this route. I understand it comes from being very stressed out often, but we can't go that route. All right, so that's serious. You should look through there yourself. Accommodations for students with disabilities. If you do have any learning disabilities or other disabilities that you need to let me know about, as far as that would affect you in the class, do let me know. We have a great disability service program, and they have all their information online now. So they are great to work with, and you can work with them, and there's some official paperwork that you would now send me, online now. and I'm happy to, I really want to support your learning, and they're a really good program. All right, so check that out. Then last but not least, I have the reading and assignment schedule. So this has the week, and then it has what's going on for that week, and then I tried to, on the right, just kind of put some helpful dates of, when's the last day to drop, and things like that. All right, so the first week that right now you'll see an assignment about interviewing your classmates, and just really introducing yourself more. So you want to get that in. You can connect with some classmates, and in addition, you get credit for that. So that's a win-win again. In addition to that, I encourage you, I'm not requiring, but I encourage you to exchange contact information with some other students, with a couple of other students at least, because that way, if you want to, confirm anything about an assignment, or sometimes you can get information from one another as easily, if not more easily, that you could get it from me. I do want to just go back to that plagiarism stuff. Boy, now we're going back to the bad news, right? But in this is also copying. So you don't want to work together so much that you have the same work, because that's still considered plagiarism. So, but that said, it's very nice to connect with others, and it's a time that many of us are feeling rather disconnected. So it's a really nice way to meet people, and that you guys can just, I don't know, you could study together, just don't have the same exact wording and answers. That's going to get you in trouble, but it's always nice to connect if possible. All right, the first, after that, we're going to be working with a brainstorming exercise, and then the following week, so you can start getting ready for this, is you want to have read the first two stories. The first one I mentioned is The Story of an Hour, and the other one is by the same author, called Desiree's Baby. They're both by Kate Chopin. So again, if you're either getting literature and its writers, that does give you some time to get that book, or you can just search for the stories online, and the one story is in the Writing About Literature chapter. The Story of an Hour is in here. All right, so you're going to read those first two stories by January 29th. And I will post a quiz review study guide on that date, and then the quiz is not till February 5th, and it's in bold, quiz number 1. All right, so I'll let you look through the reading and assignment schedule on your own, and that should do it, right? So I just wanted to cover, kind of go over the syllabus, and I welcome you to English 1 at Solano Community College. I guess I should have introduced more about me. I've been teaching at Solano College since 2007. How many years is that? January? So it's exactly, I don't know. I have to add. I didn't have that up ahead of time. You could add it. It was in January 2007. And I was a student at Solano College myself. I have my AA in English from Solano Community College. That was a long time ago. We definitely did not do this format then, like I joke sometimes about that's when the dinosaurs were like roaming the college. No, they weren't. We only had like stones. We didn't have pens. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so that, at any rate, I have my bachelor's and master's degree from Sonoma State, which I just absolutely love. And so if you're looking for a great place to transfer, I really enjoyed being a student at Sonoma State University. So, all right, well, I just wanted to say welcome, and welcome to English 1. And if you have questions, of course, contact me, and let's have a great semester.